What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Don Illuminati back with another little quick video. So, I just want to wish everybody a special season. You know what I'm saying? Ain't on no holiday type time. I know that us Israelites, we used to have the holy days or whatever. I don't really know nothing about that, but I would suggest you to try to do your best on keeping every single day holy. You know what I mean? These people, it really don't bother me too much anymore, because I got to look at it like, how many years was I along with that program? You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's just, you can't get these people to snap out of the program. And that's just so numb, you know what I'm saying? The best thing that I could suggest is just concentrating on ourselves. And what I'm saying by that is, I get it, times like this could be a little bit more stressful for other people because you're seeing them with their families and this, that, and the third. First of all, you don't even know how their families is going. Everybody is only traveling out on these certain days, Easter, Christmas, holidays. And it's like those are the only days they actually even getting up with their families, versus people like family-oriented people, because I'm actually a family-oriented person. But at the same time, you notice the difference between family and the enemy, or the enemy taking part of your family. So what do you do in that situation? Well, you just pretty much cut them off. You keep them at a distance, right? And that's what I've been doing for a lot of folks, not just family, but, friends and associates too. But I just wanted to say, how y'all been feeling? Like, are y'all worrying about your health? Because I would suggest, at these times, when you got all this isolation and you got that time to move for yourself, start to push yourself a little bit harder. I mean, I feel like I'm like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes like an instructor, like a fitness instructor or whatever. Because not only do I ask questions, like say when I'm in the gym, but I also been giving a lot of people, like my routines, what I do. But I'm trying to pick up a little bit more as far as like getting up a little bit earlier, getting up that extra hour earlier or whatever it is that you got to do. If you're falling short in your prayer life, those are things that you can add into that hour. If you're not eating breakfast before you leave out the house, or, make your shakes, your protein shakes, or, doing juicing and stuff like that. But really what I'm saying is just concentrate on your health right now. Make sure that your legs is kicking properly, that you're able to push yourself at certain moments. Because sometimes things get hard, and things has been hard, even in my life, right? It's like every single day, you know what I'm saying? Every day is a different day, you know what I'm saying? And I already expect that there's a challenge. I'm driving on my way to a challenge right now. I'm going to the shop. So, you feel me? I mean, it's not like I'm getting all this joy out of hardship, but I realized how much hardship I actually endured. I was homeless for a whole year, you know what I'm saying? Where I lived on the streets, you feel me? And I know that's, that sounds crazy or whatever, but, we all got our times. But, I see homeless people that's been out there for years. And I'm not going to say nothing about that, but, if you find yourself in one of those positions to where you're like in a hole, you're going to have to struggle for days to get out. Days. And once upon a time, it took me a whole year struggling. It wasn't that I was just in a certain situation and I was content there, but every day that I was moving and struggling to survive, so I was able to think too at the same time. So I began to push myself after a few months, and it was just an everyday thing. Sometimes it comes with almost, doing by any means necessary. And I've been through those days too. And I just encourage myself a lot of times when I look back on what I had already been through. And it just gives me that much encouragement to keep moving, because I know I don't want to be back in that type of situation. You feel me? So to struggle to survive versus surviving and struggling, it's a difference. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to look at it, is the cup half empty or is it half full? If it's half full, then continue to fill it up. You know what I mean? It's going to take progress. It's going to take a lot of initiation, and it's going to take some isolation, because sometimes we hanging around certain people that keep you distracted. And sometimes you got to give yourself that month. You got to give yourself about a good month or so before you can gradually get into that routine, because that month might turn into 2 months, it might turn into a whole year, but it's going to give you that time to be able to dedicate to yourself and the things that we need to do. And my highest suggestion right now is, forget about the depression and the stress days and, what you may be struggling up towards next. Go ahead and add this extra hour in there and push yourself just a little bit more. If you ain't going to the gym, get to the gym. Let's get to the gym. You feel me? Because that's the first thing I do. I say, you know what? I'm going to get in here this morning and I'm going to put 325 over my head before my day can even get started. So if I already push myself damn near to the max, right? And things that I know I need to do in life, before I even get outside, it's like anybody want to, put their mess on to me. It's like it gets your mind in a different mindset. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, man, I already decided to initiate, pushing harder for myself this morning. More than anybody can push me. The first push you're going to need is getting out of that bed. Stop allowing those thoughts to keep you tired, because that's where the depression takes form. You get up, you wake up, you start thinking about all the things that need to be done. No, create the routine of what you're going to do. As far as you wake up, pray, you get that out the way. You can spend a few minutes, because a lot of us is not doing it. I got to keep it 1,000. I don't do it every single day. Sometimes I do it, as I'm on the move. Even a quick prayer, Lord be with me, or Jesus be with me. Pray over your day before you get started. And no matter what the struggles is, the Lord's going to guide you through the rest of it. But that's what I was just thinking, just make sure you're drinking some water. If you're getting them shakes in, exercise. Try to exercise daily, because I'm telling you, it's like it makes every other circumstance throughout the day that much lighter. You feel me? Like if you really go out, it's like no pain, no gain, right? I go to the gym to get these things out. You feel me? That way, by the time my day's getting started around 9, 10 o'clock, I'm already motivated. I'm already motivated physically, and physical motivation can do a hell of a lot for you. If you want to get out there, you got to walk. Start by walking, then start jogging, then start running. You got a treadmill in the basement. You dust that thing off and start using it, because we're going to need that extra blood flow. The extra blood flow is helping you think. It's helping you create your thoughts. And you're doing this in a mind space to where it's just you. You feel me? Like, I don't need nobody to go to the gym to spot me. But it'd be nice to have people there, here and there. But, you got to get in the routine for yourself. Am I going to get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning so I could get certain things out of the way? Because you don't know how much beneficial getting that 1 hour or even hour and a half out of the way. If you start early, because you got a long day ahead, right? It'll make so much things that could have been stressful throughout your day a small thing to a giant. You feel what I'm saying? So the fact that I already got out there and I already put more weight on my shoulder than anything I feel like can do for the day, and I'm talking about physically, right? Somewhere in there, spiritually and mentally, it ties in with your physical nature as well. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll notice once you start getting stressed out or whatever, you let the thoughts overrun you. You become weak physically. So I try to fight that on another end by working out and pushing myself early in the morning. Not too hard, but just pushing myself to get into it, to making sure that I know, look, I got my blood flowing for the day. I'm ready. I'm physically prepared. I'm physically active already. And I got a feeling that, it'll help you out spiritually as well, because that blood flow, it'll help you think. It'll help you, gain your thoughts mentally. I usually put music in my ears, as I'm working out. And that's another thing. I don't like to be on the same frequency as everybody else. So mind you, if you go into Planet Fitness, you can go anywhere. You could be in a bar. But when everybody is on the same frequency, you notice that you start taking parts in certain things that they're on because the frequency is heavy. But when you keep your own frequency, and I'm telling you, especially when you get in environments where there's music playing, because music does that to them. It does that. The frequencies is already there. So you'd be fighting against that because it's you're intaking it. So I usually keep my own music on pretty much everywhere I go. That way, if I got certain things, just keep one earpiece in. This will help you out. You know what I'm saying? Stay on your own energy. You know what I'm saying? So just little things like that. Drink plenty of water. Make sure you exercise. Get out there. You know, allow the algorithms of the world to know, like, look, man, we in this for the full fight. You know what I'm saying? I figured I just wanted to show my face today because I ain't been on here in a couple of days. And I had to take the one video down because just one second. How's it going?
Thank you.
Have a good one, man. I had to take the one video down because in that testimony that I had, you know, sometimes I can get real excited and I'll start blabbing out things that you know what I mean, personally. And I understand that content creators who are, you know, trying to walk that path of Christ, you got a lot of haters out there and sometimes they prey on your downfall. So I don't want any of that to get mixed up. So I'm going to be careful as far as when I got to bring certain testimonies and stuff like that, because, you know, I get joyful in telling people, you know, how God's been operating in my life. I mean, why wouldn't you be? You feel me? Like, when you see it like nobody else do. And, you know, the Lord been showing up in my life for a long time, for a lot of things, you know, and I could be forever grateful. So I try to show my gratefulness. I try to show my thanks every day by living the way that He wants me to live. And that's really the most important thing. But at the same time, we still have these downfalls and these pits that they're literally wide open. They're waiting for us to fall in the midst of. But I feel like a lot of it is because of the fact that we're not as active as we say we need to be. Because sometimes we struggle physically getting up out of the bed. And sometimes you realize that when you have a lot of things planned against you, you know, it could be mind-boggling. Mind-boggling to the point where it's like a lot of things are out of your control and, you know, you just want to just give up on everything. But you really can't, you know. You got to be able to focus on what it is you need to do. And our energy is very important. Our health is very, very important. Forget the stress, you know. That's why I say, you know, sometimes you want to work through it. You feel me? Like if you fell when you was a kid, somebody told you, you know, dust it off and walk it off. That's what they mean. But what about trying to walk it off before you got to dust it off, before the circumstances come? And if you can get yourself in a routine to where you're pushing yourself every day, you'll feel like a lot of things that's starting to come through the days will become a little bit easier, you know, because you're going to take on that mic. So I just suggest, you know, prayer in the morning. About 5-minute prayer should be good. You know, put on some scriptures and then put on some music, you know, that can lead you into that routine that you're doing. And I would say exercise is going to be real good. Exercise is going to be real good. For a lot of people who got that commute, it's time to turn off their radio. Start putting on what is going to feed your spirit. I don't know what it's going to do. Some days it could be, for me, some days it could be spoken word. Some days it could be some gospel. Some days it could be straight out Papa Roach, rock. I'm serious. Listen, I'm serious because I'm a drummer, and whatever it take, as long as they ain't in the background, you know, worshiping the devil, I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. Even if it's alternative music, right? You ain't forced to listen into what they think that's meant for you. You feel me? So sometimes I get a kick out of hearing the drums and some of that alternative rock, right? Because in my head, I'm drumming along with it. You feel me? Not saying that every time it's got to be a praise time to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that in all things you do, you should be giving him praise. But I thank God that, you know, all the instruments and all the different genres of music, I thank God that He has different genres. You know, ain't nothing wrong with certain melodies or certain things that fulfill your spirit for the time being temporarily. You know, as long as it's not condoning nothing of the satanic realm, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's okay. Whatever it is that gets you going. And sometimes those guitars, they can make you really feel like, you know, you want to work out. You know that Rocky? Dun, 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 dun. You know, that's a theme song that motivate a lot of people. And it ain't just because of that. It was already a theme song, but when people saw it applied to Rocky and they was able to catch the visuals of it and they saw what he was doing with that, every time you hear that, it just makes you want to just go out there. And I got several songs, like the one that's like, time for some action, time for some action, time for some time. Yo, y'all remember them joints? Play them joints, they get you hype. Yes, they're not songs that's worshiping the Lord, but it's songs that's fulfilling your spirit at the same time. And I don't feel anything that's wrong with that. But of course, yes, of course we want to dedicate, our lifestyle to the Most High. But it doesn't mean that you got to sit there with gospel on all day. Because I got to be honest with you, all the gospel songs don't hit me like that. You feel me? You got that Stomp song by Kirk Franklin. But even understanding where Kirk Franklin is in this point, but still he was utilized to put certain things out there that still rock to this day. That'll still get your spirit out there. So what I do is I just listen to the songs and I turn any other idea off that may be about Kirk Franklin. Okay, so what? He may have lost his way. That's one thing. But we can't take away what God has already used them for. And that goes for the same for all of us. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we may feel like we're losing our way, but we got to remind ourselves, because nobody wants to remind you of that. Everybody wants to remind you of, trust me, of what you used to be. That's why I hate seeing faces I ain't seen in a long time. Because the first thing people want to ask me is, you staying out of trouble? Like, dog, you going off of things that happened back when we was young. You know what I'm saying? You see me 15 years later, I'm a grown-ass man, and you still ask me, am I staying out of trouble? I should ask you, are you staying in the Word? Are you following that Word of God? I'm in the Word right now. You dig what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things that they could bring to your attention that can remind you of who you used to be. Because that's another thing besides them placing blame on you. They say that the devil is the accuser of the brethren, right? But not only that, they love to remind you that you used to be a hustler, that you used to carry guns everywhere you go, that you used to rob. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, and he loves to use these individuals that you ain't seen in a while, good faces that you remember, never having issues with. But it's crazy because you start to look at them like, damn, that's crazy. That's all you remember me for? I deal with that a lot. But it doesn't bother me anymore because I have the opportunity now to initiate showing people who I am now and where God has brought me to. That's why I can almost assume that a lot of people that are on my Facebook, that's from my high school, they probably like, yo, look at Don. I'm telling you, you would have asked them, they would have told you. I'm probably the last person they ever would have thought that would have been come through with the Bible open in their face, reading the scriptures from the Lord, telling people how good God has been to me and what he could do for others, So I feel like I'm one of the perfect examples. Trust me. Everybody in my school know that I used to stick niggas up and all that, dog. Everybody knows this, right? But that's not the lifestyle that I live anymore. For the last almost 2 decades now, and I've been dedicating my life to the Most High. And there's a lot of growth in that. Because when those people, when they see you doing those things now, they look like wow. You got to remember, people as always, certain people, right? If you're a child of the Most High, you're more than likely a born leader. So regardless when you was out there in the world and people followed you, they was only around you because you had that form of leadership in you. You know what I'm saying? Whether they felt that they could eat off of it or become a scavenger of your life, whatever the fact was, they still saw that in you. So they followed behind you. You feel me? So the fact that God has built those certain characteristics in us, and he's given us favor, not just with, our Christians that are amongst us, but he's also given us favor with the world. He definitely did, because sometimes he'll allow you to go through certain things to pull you out of it, to show you and others who he made you. How not only that you can become a person that's walking together with the Most High, that been through so much, been through more than they've been through. So when they can look at themselves in situations that they in, you're a constant reminder to them like, dang, I wonder what it was that pulled this man out. What it is the consistency of me constantly wanting to do the Lord's work. That's what pulled me out of this situation every day, because the more days that I fall back and I don't do it, the more it'll pull me back into before not doing nothing and then going back to doing what I used to do. I feel like nowadays is we can't go back because it's like the gates are closed for certain people. And for us, that he's already pulled out of certain situations, you don't want to go back across that line because that'll be the destruction of you. That'll definitely be the destruction of you. And I feel like certain people who has been called to a certain point, it could be very dangerous for us to even start backsliding at this point. And that's why I feel like I got to get out here and I at least got to help people stay motivated. Like, look, man, we all going through, but I tell you, I'm like the soldier. I want to tell you, just put a little bit more on your plate. You put something on your plate before the world can. You show what it is that you're capable of doing. You showing that you can get these things out of the way. And not only that, look, I'm willing to struggle. I'm willing to struggle. I'm willing to take this that I put on my plate today and whatever else comes on the plate for the day. And tomorrow, regardless of what happens today, I'm going to get up tomorrow. I'm going to do the same thing. You're not going to stop me from praying. You're not going to stop me from reading them scriptures. You're not going to stop me from spreading the good news of God, which is the gospel, which is our main priority work. If you're living for the Most High, is to get out here and spread the gospel. You know, whether you're spreading the good news of Jesus Christ or you're spreading the good news of God, you're spreading that word. So that's exactly what he wants you to do. And some of it does come through a testimony. Sometimes you don't got to put those out there the way like how I did my last one. Sometimes you're just a living one. You're just a living testimony and you walking through certain things and people can already see what you've been through. They already know what you've been through. They already know who you used to be. So the fact that you're just walking testimony now is them watching you become who you're becoming right in front of their face. And it'll give them the reminder like, damn, maybe I should be doing a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? If he could do it, what's making him so strong at moments like this where I feel depleted now? Because I remember him, he used to walk around, he used to never smile. Do you understand? I went like 10 years without smiling at all, dog. I would tell you like a few good cold-blooded years without smiling because it was nothing to smile for. And that started on a year when I was homeless and I was into a sunken place. I was into a sunken place. And even when I got out of that place, because I began hustling, but I was still on the streets. I had plenty of money. I had plenty of people in my face that was smiling. I was looking like, yo, you made it. You made it. We made it. Just because I'm around and I'm like, yeah. So here's this work. All right. I'll talk to you about such and such and such. Remember, keep your eyes open. Blah, 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 blah. It was nothing to be like excited about. You feel me? So you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta cut your boy a break when I get excited about things now because I'm actually in a place that I ain't never been for some years now. And I can just remind myself where I used to be, you know? So where I'm at now, it's a overwhelming feeling of joy, dog, that I actually get. It's very overwhelming feeling because now that I don't have to be surrounded by people all day long on the streets, you know, God has allowed me to have a secluded space for myself. So I enjoy that. That's why I enjoy my time being alone because once upon a time, I was always, every time I wake up, I had to sleep around house parties, for goodness sakes. I was being woken up with cops raiding the place, you know, several times with guns and flashlights in my face. And I'm under the covers like, yo, and they screaming at me. I'm dead serious. So going from those type of situations to being isolated and alone, if you could, you know, coming from certain situations, you'll realize it ain't that bad. This is the peace before the storm. You know, and if you can't respect that, then maybe the storm should just ride out on you, you know? And I'm not saying that to, you know, to be an asshole. I'm just saying, like, you got to remember the times that you was in the storm and you got to respect the times that God brought you out because he always going to bring you out of the storm. But, yeah, I'm pulling up to the shop right now. So, till next time, it's your boy, Don Illuminati. Peace, my love.